basically, John McCain and Chuck Yeager were flying somewhere over somewhere. Like I said, they're two good looking guys, and I used to use really good looking pilots or whatever, or something like that. Used to use good looking people a lot. I had a lot of good looking people around. Basically steroids and other things basically made these people look good, basically, and they would fly my jets for me, basically. So anyway, though, they were apparently over some city or doing something. They were bombing some city, or they bombed some city, and they tried to say it was an accident, that they accidentally bombed a building, or accidentally released the bombs on the aircraft, and that was a mistake, and they mistakenly hit a building or bombed a building, basically. And I forget if it was a jailbreak or something like that. It was something in either Germany, or something in China or something like that, where they bombed some city or they bombed some building, basically. And I think it might have been a jailbreak or something. I don't know. They're trying to get someone out of jail, I think, that had gotten arrested, basically. Um, anyway, though, they bombed the city, and I found out about it, and they were going, and they had just done it, and my people told me about something about my jets were doing, or that my people were doing, that they were bombing some city, and and I said, I didn't order that. What? Because I hadn't ordered it. They were doing military action without my orders, and they were flying my jets, and they were my people, my pilots. So I was like, I didn't order that. Shoot them down. So basically, so my people shot him down, and I think it was a mobile SAM site. That was one of my SAM sites or something like that, where I was like, shoot him down. And I think it might have actually been Lee Harvey Oswald or someone that was in command or something. Like, anyway, one of my commanders contacted me, because I'm the true American president, and I'm the leader of America, and basically the real leader. So John McCain was basically flying in the jet, and they were bombing some city without my orders and attacking some people, and basically I ordered them shot down. So my SAM site basically went fire one, and basically the missile went up and blew off the back tail of the F-16, or the jet, basically. And they ejected, of course. They both ejected, being very surprised that suddenly they were shot down, because, like I said, the Viet Cong or the Chinese didn't have missiles, or couldn't have done that. Only my troops could have done that. So basically, and it was like, well, I didn't order them to be bombing. They were doing a raid or bombing a building without my permission, without my orders, using my jets and my equipment, and they were my paid employees. So yeah, they just decided to just bomb some city or bomb some building. So, and I was like, well, what the fuck are they doing? You know, and apparently, like, Nixon or somebody else knew about what they were doing. Anyway, though, yeah. So they ejected, and basically, then either the Germans or the Chinese caught them and basically questioned them. And the Germans or Chinese asked them, well, how do we find out what they know? And I was like, well, get them drunk, give them some truth serum or something. And so they were given truth serum and drugs and stuff like that, and they were questioned for. I think the Chinese or the Germans had them for over 2 or 3 months, and they could have just released them right away. But the thing is that the Congress or Nixon, I was told that the thing is that America wanted them dead. Basically, Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, or somebody wanted them dead, because they had spilled the beans on something that the Republicans or Democrats were doing, or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, you need to go to China or Germany and ask them. But basically, John McCain and and Chuck Yeager were shot down and questioned by the Chinese or Germany, basically, and that's when they found out about, I guess, the Congress or something like that, or they found out about the White Star submarines, maybe, or something. But anyway, they found out about some deals, and basically, from that point on, basically, Richard Nixon and the other boys, I guess, wanted them dead, because, and they wanted everyone they had talked to dead, or something like that. Like I say, I don't really know exactly the details of it, but pretty much, they weren't supposed to be shot down. Nobody expected them to be shot down, because the area over where they were didn't have SAM sites, didn't have missiles. But I had missiles, And like I said, one of my people just happened to call me up and ask me about it, and I was like, well, yeah, shoot him down. And so the guy was like, well, Master in Chief orders it. Fire one. And basically, and so I wasn't supposed to know what they were doing. I wasn't supposed to be told, but somehow, like I say, someone had contacted me and asked me about it, and I ordered them shut down because I wasn't ordering them to do any strikes. I wasn't ordering them to do any attacks, and they were attacking someone using my jets, and they were my employees, my pilots. So, and it's possible a lot of the test pilots were actually killed doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. Because over 23 pilots had died, supposedly, for supposedly in test flights. And it's like, my test aircraft don't crash. They don't come apart. And they have ejection seats. So how are all these test pilots dead? And so probably the test pilots were actually doing things, bombing cities or doing things by the will of the Congress or whatever. Anyway, I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know. And like I say, it's, all this stuff, of course, would be national security, top secret. And it's like, no, it's not. They were just doing bad things. Basically Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, and John McCain, and basically the last 50 years. Like I said, the truth is that that George Washington was never a president. Truman was never a president. Churchill was never a president. Like you even look at the pictures, and you go back in time and look at the pictures, and they're not in the White House. They're in some office building, and they're not president. There are no presidencies until, like nobody's a president until I think basically like the first pictures of the White House are like some way year after like 1930. Because it's true, the White House was a steam whatever until like 1930 or 1940 or 19 something, when it was renovated and then turned into a nice house, when I paid for it to be renovated or something like that. So basically all these presidencies of whatever didn't really exist. They weren't president. There was no presidency in America like that, at least not in that White House. And that White House was actually a military base, a cannon site, and a mine. So, yeah, everything the United States Congress has said, everything that your whole American government is based on is a fucking lie. And so basically that fucking lie basically leads to pretty much Jimmy Carter or whatever being, Mr. I'll never die, supposedly being this golden boy who invented flight, because they're lying about who invented flight. They're trying to pretend like they invented flight, or one of the presidents invented flight, or somebody like that. And it's like, well, actually it was me. I invented flight. I'm the old epic king. I invented the steam power. I did the Constitution, Congress, or whatever, and the Declaration of Independence, and I declared America's independence. So, under my right as basically who I am. And I'm actually like the Dark Lord before the stars. So, and it's like, well, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me. I was an Epic AI, the LSF, colony ship, all that stuff. And I was the one funding all these other countries and basically investing money and ordering and giving hope to people and having people do all this stuff. You're doing it for me. You're my life forms. Anyway, supposedly, basically, Jimmy Carter or Richard Nixon or Luke Skywalker is supposed to be the golden boy, the creator, the person who brought peace. And it's like, it's all bullshit. Jimmy Carter didn't bring peace. He was basically running a military group out of like Harvard or Yale. It's all lies. Everything America is basically the fucking lie. All the history you learn in school, everything about school, I set the school curriculum. I set the school curriculum. I set the cigarette tax. That was me. Not Luke Skywalker, not whatever. And actually it's supposed to be Lucifer Star, not Luke Skywalker. It's basically me, the golden boy, me the creator, me the best leader ever. And whatever. And like I say, honestly though, it wasn't just me. it was my Belfast people. It was my Germans. I mean, I could say no, 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 and it was the gypsies too. The gypsies came in on me, and they were like, and they're like, you don't charge enough. You can't sell anything. You don't know how to sell. So the gypsies, the gypsy group, from the Middle Easterns and the gypsy group, they were helping me. They were doing salesman stuff, and like I say, I love the Middle East. I love the gypsies. Like without the gypsies, they were selling everything. They were promoting basically me. They were doing promotions, and they were stabilizing the government. It wasn't just me. Like I say, I love the Middle East. I love the gypsies. Like they were wonderful. Them and their belly dancers and everything else like that. They were promoting, and they would bring joy and happiness to all my towns. And they would, and when my White Star Alliance was failing or my company was failing, they went in there and they helped out. They took over one of my Auschwitz cities, and took over one of my places. I mean, like they're an integral part of basically American society, of everything of the world, of me. So, you know, I praise the gypsies. I love them. Like they were a great group. I mean, I would have gone bankrupt without the gypsies, and I would have gone bankrupt without the Germans. The Germans accountants came in and balanced all my books, and watched over all my money, and made sure that everything was being run right. It was German accounting, and gypsy salesmen, and Irish steel, and I don't know what I'd be without them. I'd be nothing without them. Without the Irish people and the Belfast shipyards and everything like that, and I'd be nothing. I wouldn't. There wouldn't be no White Star Alliance. So anyway, so that's the thing, though. I'm not just the golden boy. I'm the sum of my parts. I need the gypsies, the tinsmiths. I need the Koreans or Japanese. I need the Germans. I need the Irish people. And the Mexicans. Like everybody has been a part of everything. So like these are my people. And we all, so that's something that Jimmy Carter and Richard Nixon and everybody didn't have. Of course, they couldn't ask the gypsies for help like I could. I can't say, oh yeah, you're the one who took over one of my sites, one of my cities. Yeah, I remember you. And you used to do puppet shows for me, and do acting and stuff, and bring joy to my cities. And there were photographs and pictures of the gypsies back in the day, I believe. So anyway, so basically I'm this king or whatever, this great lord. And Jimmy Carter, Luke Skywalker, was trying to pretend like, Skywalker. Like I invented how to stand on air. you know, because I was joking. I was like, I'm going to find a way to stand on air. And I didn't really find a way to stand on air. It was a joke, you know. So that's Skywalker. And so basically I'm the Skywalker that you heard of, except Jimmy Carter or Richard Nixon or them, they were trying to be Skywalker or whatever. And it's like, well, it wasn't Skywalker. I invented a wing. I invented a high lift wing, basically. And it was a really good design. And then I had white aircraft and seaplanes and everything else like that, because I had all these groups. I had all these wooden shipbuilders, going back all the way to Helena Troy. So I'm this great leader, basically, that Jimmy Carter, Mr. I'll never die, because basically he killed me and pretty much tried to take my place as Lucifer Star. But he wasn't. He was just some soldier, some idiot. But he's a more public idiot than me.